Hello and welcome to another MySQL tutorial where we'll be talking about nested queries. So that is two queries in one. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to create a new table and it's going to be called orders. Our ID field will be an integer and then we'll put it as primary and we'll have auto increment on. Then we'll have user ID, product ID, QTY and price. They're all going to be the type of integers, and all that there is left for us to do is click save. And so here we are. As we see, it's fairly empty, so let's go ahead and add in some orders. So let's go into our products. So let's say this whole database was for an online shop. So we have our users, our products and our orders. Now these are our limited amount of products. As you see, we only have 4 products: a notebook, printer, pen and test, which is just a random thing we did last time. However, we can add to it in the future. And now we also have the users, so these are the only users allowed to actually access or order anything, and we're going to make the orders right now. So what we need to store in orders is the list of orders from the users and which users and which of the products that have been ordered. If we look at products, we have a quantity field right here, and we also have a quantity field here. So for orders, the quantity is basically the amount that's going to be ordered by such and such, and for products, the quantity is basically how many of the product is there in the company's warehouse. Now let's actually try to insert something into orders. So go into orders and insert. Let's also quickly just open these up in new tabs right next to each other, like so, just so we know what we're dealing with. And let's say we want Mike Wazowski, so that is with the ID of 2. So what we need to insert here is the user ID, so that is 2. And let's say he bought a notebook, so that is with the ID of 4. So what we do is we put a 4 here for the product ID, and if we check the quantity as well, there is 3 in the warehouse of that company. So let's say he only bought 1. And also the price of the notebook is 1,500. So that's what we put it as. Let's go ahead and click on go. Let's also add some other orders as well. And now let's say the same person, so with the ID of 2, has bought a pen and the ID is 7 here. So we're going to put a 7. And let's say he's bought 5. As the quantity here is 80, so the quantity is going to be 5. So what we need now is the price. The price of the pen for some reason is 10,000. Let's say it is in a different currency, it doesn't matter. However, as this person is going to buy 5, let's just quickly change up the price here just so it doesn't look too complicated. So let's change it to 10, for example. Here we go. And so as the price is 10, this is going to be 50. Now let's click on go, and the order has also been placed. Now let's make an order with Simon, so his ID is 1, so that is 1. And let's say he is buying a printer, so that has the ID of 5, and then the quantity is 4, so let's say he's bought 1, the price is 15. Now let's click on go, and this has been placed as well. And so here we are. This is what our orders is looking like. So it is giving us the ID of just the list, so 1, 2, 3, and then the user ID, our product ID, the quantity, so how many this person bought, and the prices. Now let's go into our code from our old lessons, which you all should have. It is this code right here. Now let's try to get one of our users, so let's say Simon or Mike, it doesn't matter, and let's get the login. In the beginning, we need to understand where we're getting our information from. So what we essentially want is this login field from our users database, and what we're going to do is we're going to try and write that. So let's get our notepad in here and let's write the MySQL code. So instead of the asterisk, we're going to put a login, and then to continue from login, we're going to put a from users where our ID is in 1,2, like so. Now right here, get rid of everything, and what we're going to write instead of our name, we're going to put login, as that is what we want displayed. And in our PHP file, we're going to get Simon and Mike, as that is the IDs of our orders. And if in my code I go ahead and add a 3 as well, now if I save and refresh, I'll also get Susan, who is, as we see right here, the person with the ID of 3. And so as you see, we're sort of doing this manually. So what I said at the beginning of today's lesson is that we're going to be trying to do 2 queries in one. So what we're actually going to do to change this is inside of here, we're basically going to write another MySQL code, which is select distinct, and then in brackets we're going to put user ID and from orders. And so this user ID needs to be in its own bracket, so like so. So this is going to select basically the people that have made a order from the website or the online shop. And as we see, it only brings up Simon and Mike, as those 2 are the only people who actually bought stuff. So user ID 2 and 1. Susan hasn't actually bought anything, as we haven't done anything with her login yet. Just to also get Susan, what we can do is in orders, which is right here, we can add another line. So the user ID is going to be 3. My product ID, that's right, the test, for example, so that is 10, and then the quantity of it is 11, so let's just get 1, and the price is 100. Go. And so if we come back here, what we're going to see is that we now also have another order, which is with the ID of 3. And now if I go into my code, and if we come back here, I will also get Susan as well automatically, as she has also made a purchase. What is also possible to do is to show the products, or one of the products that has been bought even once. So for that, we need to select this name field from our products. So instead of writing a login here, we just write name, and then we need to change this users to products, so it's selecting it from products, and we need it with the product ID. Also right here, instead of login, we put name, and here we are. So I have notebook, printer, pen and test, so all of these have been bought once or more. And now let's say we want to see our income from our online shop, and we're going to get that through price. So what we're going to do is in SQL, we're going to select a sum, and then we're going to write price inside of here from orders, and so we need to delete where and 1. And if I go ahead and click on go, I'm going to get my sum, so everything that I have, my income, which is basically everything added together. We can also get to see which user has bought what amount of products, so the price. And if I quickly click on edit, and right here just before sum, if we put our user ID, then we'll put a comma, and if I click on go, we're going to get a completely false statement. As we see right here, it says that user 2 has used up our sum, which is just not true. So what we need to do to make this right is we need to write right here group by user ID, which basically groups the users by their IDs and shows us the amount, the price of products that have been bought. So user 1 has bought 15, whatever currency we're using, priced something, and then user 2 has most of the pricey things, so 1,550. User 3 has 100. This can easily be checked through our orders, which I'll quickly open up. So as we see, user 2 has bought 1,550. So plus this 1,000, so there's this 1,500 plus this 50, which makes it to 1,550. 3 has bought something which has the price of 15, and then this Gingy. So user 1 has bought something that's worth 15. User 3 has bought something that's worth 100. What we can also do is change sum for min price. And so this is going to be our user 2, which has only bought something that's worth 15. So the minimum valued or the minimum priced product. If we want to see all of our users' minimum or least priced bought products, what we can do is simply right here, we're going to add group by user ID. So just like so, and if I click on go, I'm gonna get an error, and so this is because I forgot my comma right here. Now if I click on go, I'm going to get all of my users least priced bought items and their prices. So user 1 has bought something which is 15, user 2 is 50, 3 is 100. And if we just want to look at something right here, as we see, our user 2 right here for both of the first two rows has actually bought two things, as we know. One is priced 1,500, the other is priced 50. So as we put min, we got the least priced item which is 50. And if I go ahead and right here, instead of min, put so if I put user ID max price, and if I click on go, I will get the maximum. And so for user ID, it's 1,500. It doesn't change for the other two, as they've only bought one item. And user 2's most priced item is 1,500, as we see right here. Besides this, there's also AVG, which stands for average. If I click on go, we're going to get the average price of our users bought items prices. So this is just something random which you can use. Also, by the way, as you see, I can use edit inline instead of going to SQL every single time to write something else. So this is just an easier version. We can also get to see the the amount of transactions, which we do through count. And so this is basically how many times the user has bought something. And let's click on go. I'm going to get 2 for my second user, and I'm going to get 1 for the others, because as we see right here, only user 2 has bought 2 items from our online shop. Also, instead of price, we can write anything else, so it doesn't have to be price, or we can just put a asterisk and we get the same exact thing. To continue, let's go ahead and use everything but the ID. So instead of all of this, let's put name, and we're going to get this from product. And what we can do is we can change the names that are shown. So for name, I can put as let's say I wanted to say NM, and then for QTY I want it to be as QTY TT, it doesn't matter, just anything. For type, TP, and then for price we can put it as PR, like so. And if we click on go, I'm just going to get the same exact thing as my product, which is right here. However, as we see, the names have changed. Let me show you quickly. So for QTY is QTT, for name it's NM, for type it's TP, and for price it's PR. It doesn't matter what you put here, it's your own choice. And that was all that I had prepared for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching.